Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do when starting your garage door insulation project is you need to get measurements of the garage door. Now, this particular garage door that we're working on today actually has 8 panels, and each panel is a 20.5 by 50.5 diameter, and they are 1 inch thick. So what we're using here is a 1/2 inch foam board that we are going to cut, and we're going to wedge radiant barrier between the two pieces that we're cutting. So we're cutting a 50.5 inch by 20.5 inch. As you can see, we're using a straight edge to cut this. This stuff is pretty messy, so make sure you do it in a place where it's outside that it can easily be cleaned up. There are many different types of foam board available in many different thicknesses. This particular garage door is a 1 inch thick area, so we're going to choose 2 1/2 inch pieces and wedge them together. But you can easily get a 1 inch piece if that makes it easier, and you can choose a different style of foam board. The homeowners of this home wanted either a white or silver backing on the inside, and they actually have 2 garage doors, and you'll see at the end of the video we're going to show you what the white looks on one garage door and what the silver looks on the other. But if you don't mind, you can get a pink foam board or a blue foam board. All of those are very good. Now that we've got our foam board cut, this is actually going to be the back piece, and because of the foam board normally comes in a 4x8 sheet, you're going to have some waste. So in order to utilize the maximum amount of foam board, we're actually going to cut the back into several different sizes so that we can not have a whole lot of waste with our material and save some money. So you can see here the back doesn't cover the entire section of the garage door, so in just a second we're going to cut some pieces and fill in those gaps. Here we're measuring the gaps, and so we make sure we get the right amount of cut to fill in that back section. That's not going to be seen once we place the front piece. That'll be seen onto the garage door. Here is the fill-ins that we've cut, and you can see they pop right in. This particular garage door has edges on it that allow you to put it in. As you can see, I'm putting it in so gravity is able to make them fall out if they won't stick. But your garage door may be a little different, so take a look and see if you've got the ledges or if you're going to have to use some kind of adhesive to make them stay. Now we are preparing the radiant barrier, and this is wonderful. This is used in attics to basically knock all the radiant heat off of the attic, and it's amazing. We use it in our homes that we do attic remodels on, and it really does a fantastic job. The the Department of Energy says that it could lower the heat bill up to 17%. So check that out on energy.gov if you want to learn more about radiant barriers and what they're able to do. But they're also great for garage doors, especially if you got a garage door that has a lot of morning or evening sun shining directly on them. These garage doors we're working on are white in color, but if you have a dark garage door, it's going to absorb even more heat, so a radiant barrier might be a good way to go. This is another reason why we chose 2 1/2 inch pieces, so that we could wedge the radiant barrier between them. You can also use the radiant barrier as the outside of the garage door facing into the garage. It'll lighten the space up in the evening whenever you're using the lights. If you go with a pink or a blue foam board, this could be utilized instead of the white foam board with the silver backing. Great stuff. We use Armafoil radiant barrier. It knocks 95% of radiant heat off. It's oxidized in a way that it will not deteriorate after a while, and it's very, very strong. As you can see, it took me a little while to cut it. You're not going to tear this at all. This has to be cut. Here we are cutting our larger pieces of foam board so that this will be the part that you'll see on the inside of the garage. As I mentioned before, this comes in 4x8 sheets. This is a silver backed on one side and white on the other. Depending on where you get the foam board, if you see the silver piece that's just above the main piece that I'm working on, that one actually has writing on the silver side, and this one does not. They came from two different stores. The writing will be on one side or the other. It'll either be on the white side or the silver side. The pink and blue foam boards will also have writing on them, and those can be easily removed if you don't want those to be seen. Okay, now we are putting the radiant barrier on the finish side of the foam board, and you'll be able to see here in just a moment that we just slide it right in, and the glare is pretty intense. This was a real sunny day, but you get the idea. We're going to make the foil the outside or the finish side of the garage door, which will add quite a bit of light when it's dark and you use the lights inside the garage. This will be a good reflective barrier to add some light to the garage. Very clean whenever it's installed. It looks really good. Once you get everything measured and cut right, the foam board should just slide right in, and because of the grooves that are on the garage door, it'll just pop right in and hold, and this will be years of maintenance-free insulation that you don't ever have to worry about again once this project is complete. You can see it just pops right in, and those little grooves will hold the foam board along with the radiant barrier that is wedged between those pieces right into place. Takes a little bit of time to cut and to put it all together, but you'll get into a groove and it'll just start popping right in. And remember, measure twice and cut once, right? Is that what they say? Looks pretty good. Okay, here is the finished garage door with the foil liner facing into the garage. As you can see, it's nice and shiny and bright, and turned out really good. This is a well insulated door with the radiant barrier between. And here is the white. We ran out of white for the bottom, so we had to use the white with the writing on it, and the homeowners were okay with that. And this is what the white side looks like if you wanted to know. Again, it's your preference.